So welcome to our cutter and spiralizer class. My name is Emma and I am a team leader down in the Bass Coast. However, we have grown our team and we now expand through down to the Yarra Valley at Cranbourne, Berwick Way as well. So we are definitely growing. We've had 7 new people come to our team in the last month, which is absolutely incredible. Joining me tonight, I also have Santana, or you may know her as Bessie. And I also have Ange as well. So it is just the 3 of us tonight. The girls will do an introduction when we cut over to them. The idea around tonight is to show you all about the cutter and the spiralizer. I have loved using mine, and if you are in my private customer group, you'll see that we have used it a few times and shared with you that there. But it is also available as a host reward. So we wanted to show you what it's all about in case you are curious about getting yourself one, because we can definitely help you to do that when you have your own demo. And I have just realized that we also have Renee on as well. She has just joined our team. So welcome, Renee. She is joining Team Sapphires as well. So I'm sure you may see her in one of our upcoming classes. So tonight I am starting with a cutter dish. I will cross to the girls very soon. Actually, do you guys want to jump off and do a quick intro? Start with you, Ange.
Hi everyone, so I'm Ange, I'm down in Wonthaggi. I have been with Thermomix for 4 years now, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thanks, Ange.
Not much else to say.
Thank you. And Santana?
Yep, thank you. Hi guys, I'm Santana. I'm based in the Yarra Valley, so we live in Wandon. I have been a Thermomix consultant for a little bit over 18 months now. I decided to join up the team when I was pregnant with my second daughter as something to do on the side. So I'm a hairdresser as well. I think that's basically all. I'm pretty obsessed with my Thermomix, so just basically wanted to share it with everyone. And if you're wanting to follow along any of the socials, it is at The Savage's Life on Instagram. And enjoy. Let's see how many bloopers I can give you tonight.
You won't be alone, I'm sure. Thank you. Thank you, Santana. And Renee, I can see that you are camera off. So I'm assuming that you are probably dealing with little ones. But if you would like to pop a little intro in the chat, we would love to read that when you can. So as I said, the idea around tonight is to show you the cutter and the spiralizer. I'm going to be focusing on the cutter to start with, and I will also show you the spiralizer manually. Angie's going to be making a dish using the spiralizer, and Santana is going to show us the cutter manually. So you can obviously follow recipes, but then you can also use it aside from recipes. The recipe that I'm doing tonight, I'm just going to swap over to my other camera. Tech is not really my strong point, so bear with me, but I will replace this for them. Cool. So if you can see this little screen, what I'm doing is just jumping into my week. I have added this recipe onto my meal plan, and I'm going to be making the chicken Buddha bowl using the cutter. So this recipe is a salad. It has the rice, the chicken, and the veggies all in one. So I'm going to click on Start Cooking. And I have already done this because I was very prepared. I have added in my water down the bottom, and I have already pre-weighed my rice here as well. So I'm going to pop that in there. I haven't actually rinsed it yet. So I'm going to just show you a little trick on how to rinse your rice without doing it under the stove, under the tap and wasting water. So I'm just going to go on here for 20 seconds, and we're going to take that to speed 6. So just jumping out of the recipe and doing it manually. I don't know if you knew that little trick, but that is a very quick and easy way to rinse your rice, and you're wasting any water. So we just click on this little bookmark up the top, and we are going to follow the recipe into, it's obviously telling us to weigh our rice. Now we're cooking. So we've got 15 minutes. It's preset at 100 degrees, and we're going to take that to speed 4. If you are wanting to cook a like steam at the same time, you could do that now. You would be you would pop your varoma up top and you would be doing some steaming at the same time because you've got that higher temperature. You could take that to varoma and you've got that speed force that's pushing that steam up. So that is the rice cooking. While that gets cooking, we're going to jump over to Anne and she's going to get started with her spiralized dish.
Hello, everyone. So I am making today the lemon pepper chicken with zoodles. So we're doing the thick spirals using the spiralizer. So the same as Em, I have popped my recipe into my week and I've chosen it through my meal plan on Cookie Do. So I'm just going to press start cooking. Now, I can probably skip a couple of these steps actually, so I'm going to go back just to where I started. So as you scroll down your recipe, you can actually choose where to start from the list here. So I've already weighed our zucchinis into here, and then so I'm just going to press on step, oh my gosh, I can't speak tonight. Press on step 2 and it will take us straight up to where we need to be. So then I don't need to sit there and press next until I need to get up to where I want to be. All right, so it's just telling us to insert our cutter. So to be able to use your spiralizer, you do need to have the cutter attachment as well. So the first thing you need to do is to insert the spindle. Just sits in on top of your blade. And then your cutter basket goes in on top. Now, a lot of our recipes have little videos that will explain what you need to do. So if you're not quite understanding the process, watch the videos and it will just explain to you what it is you need to do before you can move on. So then we are inserting our spiralizer. So this is your spiralizer attachment. With your spiralizer, you get 2 different blades. So we are using the black blade tonight. So the black blade is designed for your thick zoodles and the green blade is designed for your thin zoodles. So then that just goes into there like so and it sits on top of the spindle. If I had it the right way. Okay. All right. And then we are popping the lid onto and pressing next. So now we are, so when you are doing your zoodles, the most important thing is to make sure that you cut your vegetables to the right size and shape. So what you want to do is have your diameter about 4 to 5 centimeters and the length of your vegetable about 10 centimeters. So then with our zoodles, we get the spiralizer, you get a separate little pusher. You want to insert your vegetable into your pusher attachment like so. And then we are just putting it in to our little, all right, so it just says there just to make sure to keep an eye on the filling of the basket to make sure we're not overfilling as we go.
Has anyone made zoodles without a Thermomix or a spiralizer? Does anyone have any different kind of gadgets or anything that they are using to do something similar?
Yeah, I have a different one.
What do you have?
Let's see if I can find it.
I'm always very interested. I've never done it any other way. We used to use a peeler and do like ribbons with a peeler, but haven't ever done any zoodling or like the proper Thermomix, like spiralized ribbons.
I think I might have thrown it out. It was just like a tube, like a long skinny tube, and you would like open it, put say like this long a piece of zucchini in it, and then you would like hand screw it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I did actually see one at a customer's house the other day and it was similar to that. You had like, you would actually screw the zucchini into this little attachment and then it would create your zoodles outside of it. And have you ever done zoodles without a Thermomix?
Yes.
How?
I used to have a spiralizer, which was a manual thing, and I hated it. I got rid of it.
Hardware.
So last part. So as you can see, I'm not putting much pressure on there at all. So at the end, you will be left with a little piece like this. Don't throw them out because you can use those little pieces for stock, or you can chop them up in, say, stir fry or something like that. I always keep my scraps and put them in the freezer. And then when I am ready to make stock, I've got stuff like this ready to go. Then I'm not using a whole piece of vegetable for stock. All right, who's ready for the reveal?
I'm
So
excited.
this is what you end up with.
So cool.
All right, so as you can see, I've got a full basket there of,
Ribbons.
yeah.
So cool.
All right, always remember to remove your spindle.
How many pieces of zucchini was that, Ange? Like how many actual zucchini?
So I had 3 zucchinis. The recipe is asking for 600, but I just used 3 zucchinis and they were about 20 centimeters long each. So I just cut them in half. And I ended up with about 500. I wasn't going to use another zucchini just to get that little bit extra.
Yeah, that's fair. So that was super quick. If you were to do 3 zucchinis, like you wouldn't even be able to do that by hand. It would take forever. You wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
But that's so cool.
All right, so that's just saying to transfer them into here and cover them with a little bit of salt and set them aside. So the salt is a seasoning, but it also draws out any moisture as well. So it will stop them being super soggy. Right, remove the Thermomix cutter and spiralizer, which I've done. Place a bowl onto the lid. And the chicken I've already weighed out, so I'm sort of stepping through quite a lot of steps here. Sorry, let's get my chicken from the fridge. All right, so with the chicken, it just says to mix it with some salt and pepper and a tablespoon of plain flour and then stir it to coat and set aside. So I'm going to do that. So the first few steps of this recipe are really just preparing everything before you actually start cooking. So if you want to do something, will I stir this and get it ready or?
Yep, that's fine. We will jump over to Santana and I'm going to hide you in. And what are you doing for us today?
All right, I'm just going to go in manually and chop some potatoes. So I'm going to use the cutter attachment. I'm going to slice some potatoes. I'm going to do 1 potato thick and then 1 potato thin, just so you can see the difference in the thick and the thin size. And then I'm also going to use the grater attachment. So in the cutter with the lid, it's pretty simple. One side is grating and you just pop it out and the other side is slicing. So start off on the slicing side. I have definitely got that wrong before. I've done a potato bake with grated potato. It did still taste the same, so it wasn't the end of the world, luckily.
I've also made that mistake and I grated our potatoes and we were supposed to be having them on the barbecue. So we had them as like chippies on the barbecue. Still worked.
Yeah, really thin chips.
Yeah. Not
well, in like a recipe, so I think when I did do it, I was even following a recipe. But the problem is because you hold it upside down to change your blade, in my head, this is like the upside because that's the way I'm looking at it. But obviously the upside is counted as what's facing up when you're using it. So don't make that mistake. Take my hint, okay?
for everyone there.
For everyone there.
Don't be like that.
Don't be like me. Learn from my mistakes. Do as I say, not as I do. This is I like to call it a shaft. I feel like Ange was trying to sway away from that word. So I thought I'd just add that in real quick.
Yes, I was definitely trying to not say that.
Then you've got your the cutter basket in and obviously the top is in and my lid is off. So that's the first step. I'm going to go over into our modes, scroll all the way to the bottom, and we're going to be doing our slicing. So I'm hoping, but I don't really feel like you can actually see the screen here. So let me just explain what's happening. I still keep all of my warnings and everything on there because when I'm doing demos, I like to either quickly read through it or just give an example of what happens. You can always read through all the tips and tricks for all of the recipes. If you don't want to read through it and you're really confident, you can click the do not show this message again if you like, but I just like to keep it there. Again, like what Andrew was saying, essentially it's just trying to tell you not to overfill the basket. So depending on how much you're going to do, stop maybe like halfway and empty the basket, and then you can continue going on. I'm going to stop halfway anyway, because I obviously want to show you the difference between the thick and the thin sizes of the slicing. So this now is just a screen. It's a dial of the grater showing you can either choose thin or you can choose thick. Very simple. And you just turn the speed selector to whichever one that you want to use. So I'm going to go and do thin first because that's first on the dial. Turn it on. I don't like to use a heap of speed.
It doesn't actually matter if you turn your blade on to start with, or if you do it once the potato's in. It doesn't make a difference. It's just personal preference.
All right, so this is thinly sliced potato. I feel like this would be really good to fry in the oven if you were wanting to make your own like potato chips. So obviously super, super thin. If you're anything like me, I'm a fresh kinder mum. My son's just started 3-year-old kinder. And they have all of these rules behind kinder lunches, which I'm finding extremely interesting because my son is like such a big eater. So we're not allowed to take any potato chips, nothing that's not handmade, no cakes, no like muesli bars, everything has to be handmade, no wrappers, no sugar, no chocolate chips in anything. I just feel like it's a bit culty, to be honest. I like to give my son a little bit of a treat in his lunchbox. So anyway, that's my rant for the day. Maybe I'll make my own potato chips and then they can't
Not in a packet.
get grumpy.
I tried that and I made the chocolate zucchini loaves, and I was like,
Yeah.
like they're healthy. And
Did you get in trouble?
she wasn't allowed to eat it. I got to pick up and they're like, she's not allowed to have that in her lunchbox. And I was like, it's zucchini.
But also, is the chocolate not like cacao? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Is that even chocolate?
Well, it's healthier version, I suppose. But anyway,
I think it's
love
ridiculous.
daycare and kinder rules, and it gets better as you get to school.
Yeah. Anyway.
They're less
All right. But what was that? Less strict?
Yeah, because they're like not as likely to share food at high school, like primary school and high school, as they are in
Yeah,
kids,
true.
and they wash their hands and stuff.
Yeah, right. Good point there. All right, so the next one I'm going to do is thick, just as a comparison. You won't be able to hear me, but bear with me for a moment.
Has anyone used anything other than the like Thermomix cutter for this? I know that we have Tara on, and I'm sure she probably has the Tupperware version, the old mandolin. Is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure Renee probably have one of those too, and Joe even. Linda, I'm sure you would probably know what I'm talking about there too. Pop it in the chat if that's what you are currently using. Yes, I have one. I thought you would. If that's what you're currently using for slicing your potatoes, or if you're doing it by hand.
I
So that
used
was
to use a mandolin at all the restaurants that I've worked at, and oh my God, you better watch your fingers. If you're not using a guard, you will cut them off.
Yeah, I've learned that the hard way a few times. Yeah.
It's funny. All right, well, that was one potato, and I think it took 1 second to literally put that whole potato through there. So it's a good comparison. There's like your size, trying to get it sideways so you can see thickness. So that is your thick, and this is your thin.
So the thin is 2 mil and the thick is 4 mil, just for those that like a bit of technicalities. We like the thick ones chucked on the barbecue. We just pop them on the barbecue with a bit of the Skinny Mix's 8th of all barbecue seasoning. But they're also really good in potato bake as well. We are going to go back to Ange now and keep cracking with her, and then we will see you soon, Santana.
By all means.
All right, so I have just obviously coated my chicken in the flour and the salt and pepper, and then I just went on to cut some parsley in the Thermomix bowl. So it was just literally 3 seconds on speed 7. And now we're going in with 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, and says 1 to 2 pieces of lemon rind. You want to make sure when you're getting lemon rind that you don't have any of the white pith on there. The white pith is actually quite bitter, so without that, your dish is much nicer. So I just used the peeler out of our kitchen toolkit and was able to peel it super thin. So we're going for 10 seconds all the way up to speed 10. So is anybody grating their own cheeses at home, or are you still buying pre-grated cheeses from the supermarket? Buying a block and grating it yourself saves, not only saves you a lot of money, but it saves you a lot of issues with the ingredients that are involved in pre-packaged cheeses. A lot of them have anti-caking agents, which is usually consisting of like sawdust or plastic to stop the cheese from sticking together. So I much prefer to buy my own because it saves us money, and then I grate it myself when we need it. I know some people like to buy a whole block and then grate the entire block at once and then just store it down for when it's needed as well. All right, so then we're just going in with 25 grams of olive oil. Use a bit less. I don't mind a little bit less. I try to reduce the oil where I can. We're just going in now with 2 garlic cloves and a leek, which I have pre-washed and sliced. To always make sure you're cutting open your leek and washing it, because there is lots of hidden dirt inside of a leek from the supermarket. So we're just chopping that down on speed 5 for 3 seconds. And then on top, just show you what that looks like. It's just all chopped up nicely. Then we're just popping on a simmering basket on top, and we are going to saute that for 5 minutes, 120 degrees on speed 1.
Awesome. Thanks, Ange. I'm just banging and crashing over here. I'm going to put my spotlight back on. So Renee said, yes, she is now grating her own. Thanks to me. Thank you. Glad I could share that little hint and tip with you. And Jo is looking forward to learning how to use her cutter so that she can do it as well. So I have my rice is cooked. I've just pulled that out and set that aside, and just show you. This is our lunch prep. So I've just popped a little bit of the rice in there. It's all foggy. So I will have 4 of these, and then I'll just have that set up as our lunches for tomorrow and Friday. If you are into meal planning, this is a really good, or bulk cooking and getting ahead of yourself time-wise, then this is a really good recipe for doing that, because you can make a bigger batch. It's only asking for, so it serves 4, I think it says 4, but you can scale it as well. It's asking for 250 grams of chicken breast. I have just done 1 chicken breast, and it has weighed in at 340 grams. So there will be more chicken. I could have increased the rice. I'll probably keep some of the chicken aside and pop that in the kids' lunches for sandwiches or for wraps. So what I have in my bowl here now is some soy sauce, some sesame oil, and some chicken. It is asking for breast. Breast is required for this recipe because it shreds it down. So if you were to use thigh, it would hold its shape a bit better and it won't shred as nice, whereas this breast shreds a lot nicer. So we're just going to cook that for 8 minutes. It's set at 100 degrees. It has our reverse function enabled. So I'm just going to flick you to my other camera to show you that. When you are in a recipe, in a cookie dough recipe, it will automatically do this kind of stuff for you. But if you're looking for reverse, then that is where you find it. It's just touching on that little bit there. So I actually don't know why it's cooking in reverse, because we're going to shred the chicken anyway. So it doesn't really matter, but we will just go with what the recipe says. So while that cooks for the next 8 minutes, we are going to go back to Santana. Oh, hang on, I've spotlighted me in view. Sorry.
Hola.
Hello.
All right, I'm now going to show you how we can, as Em was talking about and Andrew was talking about, grating your own cheese. So obviously avoiding the anti-caking agents and saving money. A block of cheese compared to a packet of grated cheese is very different. So I've just gone in and obviously changed the side of the blade. Em, can you give me a go ahead? That's right, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Right,
Right,
right.
grating.
Anyone? Ange, someone?
I have popped it in
Gray
the
for grating.
is for grating and slate is for slicing. So just remembering the darker grey is known as slate, slate for slicing.
Yeah.
I'm just going on mute because my machine sounds like it's struggling. It's not, it's just that the chicken's cooking slowly.
We can't hear it anyway. So this is the only piece of cheese I had left in the house tonight when I said I would jump on. And that's my husband in the background if you want to say hi. He's just going to change his sprinkler. So I'm going to go in back to, where am I? Rating. So back into my modes. Same thing. It's obviously going to explain all of the safety precautions and everything to you. If you feel that you know it off by heart well enough, you don't have to show it again, but I just keep them there for safety. It's the same sort of thing. So it's showing the grater and then showing that you can choose either the first select is thin or the second is thick. I will personally probably use thin more, just because I can use it on more things and I don't have that much cheese. I said to Em today, I'm like, I don't have time to go to the shops and I forgot that this was on tonight, but I wanted to do something for you guys. So this is my last piece of cheese. So I'm gonna do thin, but thin goes further. Yeah, thanks, Em. We'll go with that. So yes, I'm gonna do thin and I'll show you what it looks like. Bear with me.
Something to remember when you're doing cheese, and the reason that I asked Bessie to do it instead of me is because it needs to be really, really cold. Our house is currently sitting at 30 degrees, and I knew as soon as I pulled that cheese out of the fridge, it would be too warm too quick, and it would just go all bowly. It would go quite clumpy. So you need to make sure that whatever you're doing with the cutter is quite cold and quite fresh. If it's not, things like strawberries, those kind of things, if they're a little bit soft, they'll just go to mush. So you do need to make sure that things are quite cold when you're using the cutter and quite fresh.
Did you find that out the hard way with avocado, Em?
Yeah, that's why I'm not doing avocado with my cutter tonight. I'm doing it by hand.
So here it is, really light and fluffy and perfect.
I always think it looks like 2-minute noodles.
It does look like 2-minute noodles. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but yeah, there you go.
Tara has just said that she'll definitely be trying this as she grates a whole block to store in the fridge, and with a hand grater it takes a while. It would take ages. And
It would take so long.
talking on behalf of myself, but I have a really bad shoulder, and standing there grating things takes way too long and it just kills my shoulder. So it's really good for those that need help with anything to do with wrists, hands, fingers, shoulders, anything like that. Yes, don't forget to take your shaft out.
Do not forget the shaft.
How could you forget the shaft?
How could you forget that? You don't want to because then you have to order replacements, but it's okay because people do that all the time.
Absolutely.
So I'm actually just gonna go and store that in one of my vacuum seal containers, or the sound of two glass containers together is not nice. So I'm just gonna store that in one of my vacuum seal containers. I'm gonna have to search for lids in here because other members of the family put them in places they don't belong.
I might go to Ange while you're doing that.
Good, I got it.
Good.
Good. So I'm just going to store that in my vacuum seal container so that it keeps it nice and fresh in the fridge.
So at the moment, our vacuum seal containers are also part of our host rewards. So if you have a demonstration with your consultant, you will be eligible for a spiralizer and a cutter, or a spiralizer and the vacuum seal container set if you've already got a cutter. So reach out to your consultant if you're wanting to book that demo. All we ask is that you have 2 people and that you include someone new that hasn't seen a Thermomix before that might be interested in purchasing, to make sure that you get the better discount on your spiralizer and whatever it is that you choose bundle. Might go to Ange now while you are doing that, and then we'll come back to you shortly.
All right, so our leek and I can't remember what else was in there, garlic, all sauteed down. So now we're just adding in our chicken strips. So that's what I covered earlier in some flour. So by coating it in the flour and the seasoning, it's just going to help the sauce thicken as it cooks. All right. So we are going in now with 40 grams of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and I've just realised that the scales don't actually come up on that recipe.
Ooh, good one for recipe development.
So luckily I pre-weighed it earlier. And our chopped parsley from earlier, we're putting that in as well. And 100 grams of water. And what else? Some chicken stock. So are you making your own stock pastes? Because again, that is a huge money saver. And the chicken stock paste is much like the veggie stock paste. It's super easy. So if you're not making it, give it a go because it's really tasty. So just popping that back on, and that cooks down now for 10 minutes. Just on 100 degrees on reverse. So noticing that the arrow on the bottom of our speed dial is green. So that's going in reverse, and it's just on a soft spoon stir. So not very fast at all.
Thanks, Ange. We will have to send an email to recipe development. Can you remind me to do that?
Yes, you can do that.
So there's something that Ange just said that I was going to touch on, and now I have completely forgotten. But while my chicken is still cooking, it's got 1 more minute. I just wanted to quickly touch on our referral program. So when you have a friend or family member that is interested in purchasing a Thermomix, obviously we encourage you to have a demonstration so that they can see the Thermomix in action. If that is not something that you or your friend or family member is interested in doing, then we can also generate a referral voucher for you. At the moment, our referral vouchers are $100. They're usually $50. So you get a $100 mix shop voucher to say thank you just for referring a family or friend once they purchase their Thermomix through their consultant. So if you are interested in having a referral link generated, then please reach out to your consultant and we can generate that for you so that you can pass that on to someone who may be interested in purchasing. And then once they proceed with their purchase, you will receive that $100 mix shop voucher. That mix shop voucher is only available at the moment until the 31st of March, and then it will drop back to the $50 voucher. So if you're not keen on getting the Spiraliser and not having a demo, then you can definitely take advantage of our referral voucher instead. Now, before, oh, I've got 5 seconds that I won't bother. 2, 1. So that is our chicken cooked. It wants it to be popped into pop the juices aside, so I will just grab the bowl. It has actually already started shredding our chicken, so I'm not sure if you can see the lighting. Hang on, pop that other lighting. We've had the house shut all day, and it's still so hot in here. So it has started shredding our chicken, but we're going to find a spatula and pop the juices only into the bowl. So that's just the soy sauce, any juices from the chicken and the sesame oil going into there. And that's going to form as part of our marinade or our dressing for our salad. So that has mostly drained the juices there. And now we are going to pop this back onto Thermomix. Probably don't need to actually. You could probably just leave it like that. But for the purpose of tonight, we will pop it back on and we will shred it down a little bit further. So if your chicken wasn't shredded already, you could just steam a chicken breast in here. You can do beef, you can do pork, you can do whatever meat you want. And then you can just cook it however you want, steaming it or even slow cooking it, and then popping it back into your bowl and shredding it. So we've got 4 seconds on the clock here. We've got reverse and we've also got speed 4. So this is a really good one for bulking, as in if you're doing a bit of chicken at the start of the week, maybe it's a Sunday, you're doing a big cookout, you could do a huge amount of chicken, maybe like 1 kilo or something, cook it in your Thermomix and then shred it. And then each day you could add a different seasoning. So I know that there are some people out there that do that. They do a batch of chicken and a batch of beef on a Sunday, and then they change the seasoning flavor throughout the week. So they might have a taco seasoning, they might have a Greek seasoning, and then they might have it as wraps or tacos, or they'll change it up throughout the week. They might have it as shredded beef on top of a baked potato or something. But it is a really good way for saving some time and money, as well as your energy and just being able to just get it done. So that has shredded our chicken. I'm just going to set that aside now. And are you
Still got 5 minutes.
okay? What about you, Bessie? Do you have more cheese for us? I can't hear you. You're muted.
I kept wondering what that picture was. I could see it's you telling me to unmute myself. Yes, I forgot that I was going to do my parmesan. Was I meant to do that I was meant to do that in there fine, wasn't I?
That's right. We could slice it thinly if you wanted to, and it would be like really, really
Yeah.
fine.
Let's do that.
It'd be
It's
lovely.
just a little, I just cleaned everything, rinsed it out because I was going to chuck it in the dishwasher, but I can just put it back in. This is how my brain's working at the moment. If I just forget it if it wasn't screwed on.
Not the only one, don't worry.
Only human. I was telling you guys that there was going to be some form of bloopers, and here they are. I don't know.
You want to do what you were doing with the spiralizer and then do that
Yeah.
after.
With the
Whatever
grater, you mean?
What are you talking about, the spiralizer?
Oh, I was just going to have the spiralizer there in case you wanted me to show it.
Oh,
It's fine. I'm here now.
okay.
I'm going to do slate.
We're really organized, as you can tell, guys.
The slate up. What am I doing? Slicing. What am I doing? Thin, did you say?
Yeah, slice it thinly, I reckon.
Little piece or a big piece, Em? What do you think?
A little.
See how we go. Boys and girls, there's a first for everything. I've actually not done this yet, but here we go. I do love some freshly grated parmesan though.
Stinky cheese. Am I the only one that still calls it that?
Stinky please. I used to call it spew cheese when I was little, but that was like the proper stuff that was in the here you go.
Oh, so nice. That would be perfect on some pasta.
Imagine.
Nice for your Caesar salad.
You know
Yeah.
what? I had it on recently and it was elite, and I just don't think I could ever make it myself. A friend of ours did corn on the cob, and he like steamed your corn first and then he barbecued it so it was like charred, and then put is it like sriracha Kewpie mayonnaise with hand grated cheese on the top.
Yum. That sounds delicious.
It was so good.
There is a recipe on Cookie Doo that is a corn salad, and it is delicious. That just reminds me.
Prawn salad.
Corn salad. I don't know. It's like bean and
Oh,
corn.
corn.
Yeah, but it's delicious.
That's a pretty thing.
Okay. That looks lovely.
There you go.
I like Angie's idea. Perfect for a Caesar salad.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to come back to me now. Where am I? And I'm going to start by grating my carrot. So we've seen a few things with the cutter, but we haven't seen carrot yet. So I have peeled my carrot, totally up to you as whether or not you want to do it. With the cutter, you have two sections at the top. So depending on how big or small or thick or thin your food is that you're using, you can use each side. So I prefer to put my carrots into the smaller side, purely because they just stay upright and they won't go all over the shop. If you're grating, it doesn't actually matter, but it is just a nice little tip. So because I'm within this recipe, it is popping up on my screen and it is telling me step by step what to do. For those that have used the cutter and are familiar with it, you could just go ahead and just do it without having to go through step by step. But those that are getting used to it, it is really handy to have those instructions there for you. So this one we are going to do thick. I'm going to grate that thick. Actually, I'm going to do half thick and I'll stop at halfway. Oh, my bowl's too hot. Let me grab another bowl. Perks of being a consultant, you've got multiple bowls always for free. So, clean bowl, yeah. That's probably why it says to clean and dry your mixing bowl in between that recipe. And I was just like, no, I'll be fine. Take note, read the recipe and listen to it. So we are going to go thick, and I'm going to stop at halfway and then we'll show you thin as well. So I will do both and then I will take it out and show you. So that was amazing to show you. So that was thick. Really hard to see here. I will pull it out in 2 seconds. Right, that was thick, and now we're going to go thin. So you saw it before with the cheese, the thin cheese, but just to show you the difference between veggies and thin cheese. So really don't need to put much pressure. It is kind of just holding that food down near the cutter blade. So that is our grated. Let me show you. Thin and thick. It might be actually easier if I show you on this little camera. I don't know if you guys can see that. So you've got your differences between thick and thin. I'm going to pop that into a little bowl, and then we're going to do some lettuce. Just got that all over my computer. So we tend to use the grating purely for cheese or carrot for salads. We do that for wraps or anything that you would need salad for, really. But we also do, you can make your own like hash browns with the small grating, like the thin grating, doing some spuds as well. So that was our carrot. Now I'm going to change over to slicing. So I'm going to flick my Spiraliser around the other way. And just going to get that little bit of carrot out from under there. The dog will be happy with that. And a little tip when you're doing something like lettuce or cabbage is to roll it up so that it is in like a nice little shape like this, and then popping it in the thicker section. It just means that you'll get nicer result at the end. So as I said, it's hot in this house and it's already started to wilt. So we're going to go to next, and then telling me what to do. So we're going to go for thick with the lettuce. Again, totally up to you. You can change it if you want. This is just a recipe suggestion. That one's needing a bit of extra pressure, but I am finding too that it is, the lettuce has started to soften with being out since I started the class. So it has shredded it, which is perfect for things like tacos, salads, obviously, but anything where you're needing shredded lettuce. I haven't done much because I'm only doing enough for mine and Mark's lunch this week or tomorrow. And then I will do some more lettuce. I don't do lettuce too far in advance. I feel like it goes a bit dirty, but carrot and other stuff is fine. I do find sometimes that the cabbage can be a bit watery and it can get a bit stuck in the pusher as well. So just put that aside. How are you going, Anne? Are you ready? Or
I'm ready to, yeah, I'm ready to continue.
Yep, I'll come to you and I'll come back to me because I just want to rinse my bowl.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Get rid of me for a sec. You go.
All right. So I wish you could smell it because it smells absolutely amazing. So we're just going to go in now with 250 grams of cream. Extra is fine. Then I've got in here, I've got some sweet paprika or just paprika, some salt and some ground black pepper. So popping all of that in as well. And then we're putting in half of the grated Parmesan cheese that we did earlier. All right, and this time, instead of our simmering basket on top, we are going to pop the aroma with our zoodles on top. And this is now just going to cook away for 5 minutes on Varoma temperature, just on, again, the slow stirring speed. That's it. And then once that's done, that will be our dish ready to serve up. So not long at all.
Do you want to just talk about how you could bulk that out if you were doing like what
Yeah, absolutely. So, sorry, So the benefit of obviously having the layers in your Thermomix is that you can add extra ingredients to make your meal go a bit further. So there is extra space in there. So if you wanted to add more zoodles or even some spiralized carrots in there, you could add them in there as well. And then you could also add on top some green leafy vegetables, so maybe some bok choy or some broccolini or something, and that would be able to sit in on top there as well. So it's a good way to, bulk out your meals, make it go a little bit further. I feel like you could probably push this up to about 1 kilo of chicken. The only problem with doing that is you might start to find that your chicken will shred a little bit. But I think you could definitely push it up to like 1.5 times the recipe at least. Or you could even add a few little vegetables in here as well. You could even add a tin of chickpeas or something like that to it as well to bulk it out. So there's definitely ways that you can make your meals go a little bit further. So don't be scared to experiment either. You're only going to find out if you give it a go.
Yes, I love that. Thanks, Ange. And for like my kids probably wouldn't eat that much, like if it was just served with just zoodles. So we actually saw someone do it in our branch meeting the other night. They added ravioli into the steaming basket at the same time. And
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so you've got your meaty bit as well. So if you were vegetarian and not wanting to do chicken, you could do your chickpeas or something in with the sauce, and then doing your ravioli, and you could
put some dumplings or something in there too, maybe serve it on some dumplings. That'd be nice, or some gnocchi.
Yeah, so many options. So you don't have to be stuck. Like the recipes are guided, meaning that you can literally do what you want with them. So I have now got I've just had a rinse. No, my bowl has had a rinse, and I now have a cucumber in there. I've just cut down what I need
to spotlight yourself in.
Oh, thank you. I have just cut down what I needed for this recipe because I didn't really feel like doing whole cucumber. It takes 2 seconds. So if I needed more, I can always do more later. We're going to go with thick for the cucumber as well. We can do a whole cucumber, like a huge long cucumber, in like 3 seconds. It's crazy how quick it is. The longest part is waiting for the arms to open. So you've got your beautifully sliced cucumber in there, and one that's spinning around. So beautifully sliced. If your kids don't like the outside, you can always peel it first. Just going to pop that into a little bowl. I've got all my little bamboo bowls over here with all my little stuff, so I can take some photos and share with you guys as well. And I started assembling my salad too, so I will post some photos for you. And the last thing that we're doing with the cutter now is our onion. I'm preferring not to do my avocado purely because I know that it has been in the fridge and it is a little bit mushier than fresh. So, and I don't eat tomato, so I am not doing tomato. When you're doing something like onion, you really want to make sure that you're putting it in how you want it to be sliced. So for me, I want it to be sliced like this so that I get like a nice slice. So when you're popping it in, just popping it in, sometimes you need to use a knife to pop it in how you want it. If you don't care what it looks like, go for gold. I just am fussy. So I'm going to pop that in, and we're going to go with thick for that one too. You can go thin for some onion, but I prefer the thick. And the kids prefer the thick because they can pick it out if they see it. Fussy little things. So there we have our slices of our onion. So see how it comes apart nicely. If I didn't do it like that, then it would have been a bit messy. So I'm going to pop that into a little bowl as well. And then I'm going to make the marinade for our salad, the dressing, not marinade, dressing. Has anyone made their own salad dressing in the Thermomix or without the Thermomix? How are you currently making salad dressings? Or are you buying them? Are you eating?
I've definitely made a like an Asian salad dressing in a protein shaker before.
Oh yeah, what was in it? Buying it, yeah.
Google probably told me, but I would say like apple cider vinegar, maybe a tiny bit balsamic and olive oil. I don't actually know. I can't remember. couple of random things like that. And then I
Yeah.
remember it was like a shaky one, so I used to just like keep it in a protein shaker.
Good
It's
idea.
been a long time since I've made it like that. I usually just buy the packets with all the preservatives and horrible ingredients from the shops.
You're not alone, trust me.
I know.
Renee's already said she's buying it.
Yeah.
So I'm just skipping past this. I could get out of this recipe and do what Ange said before and slide up and find out where I need to be at, but why not just start clicking away? So we're going to add in our meat juices now. I put my dirty bowl back on because I'm not washing 2 bowls if I don't have to. So we've got our juices there. And it does ask for coriander, not a lover, so I am skipping past that. Good thing is the Thermomix doesn't actually know, so it can't judge me. And here we've got some black pepper. Again, to taste, like it, you can do it however you want. You don't even have to put the pepper in if you don't want. Then we've got some natural yogurt. It does ask for 250 grams. I could only find a kilo pot or 170 grams, and I wasn't buying a kilo for one recipe, so I have 170 grams of Greek yogurt. And again, the Thermomix won't know, so that's okay. This dressing is actually delicious. I could probably drink it. It's so yummy. And even the dog's getting excited. He can smell the juices from the chicken. And 100 grams of mayo. Now, I am cheating and just using store-bought mayo, but if you have ever made mayo, you will know that it is super quick and easy. You know exactly what's in it, and it tastes so much better than the store-bought stuff. I was just using what I had here already, which is not much. And if your kids or you are fussy, pop it into a container that has other packaging in it. Maybe it's your partner that's fussy, then no one will notice. I do that with peanut butter. I pop our homemade peanut butter back into the store-bought jar. Kids know no different. Now we're going for 15 seconds speed for just to swish that around. And there we have our marinade. So that was really quick and easy. Just getting this. And I just noticed that I keep calling it a marinade, but it's actually salad dressing. So don't mind me. But that is that. It makes so much. And like I said, you could drink it. It is delicious. I prefer to pop it into a separate container and pop that next to my salad rather than drizzling it on it so it doesn't get soggy. But I will post a photo after tonight and show you guys all of the components done as well. So that is the salad done. It is the cooking of the rice, the cooking and the shredding of the chicken. It is the slicing of the veggies and all the salad ingredients. And then it is making the dressing. So all of that done relatively quickly. The one thing that I wanted to show you that we haven't seen yet with the Spiraliser is the zoodles. So we've seen the ribbons, but we haven't seen the actual zoodles. I'm just going to grab my Spiraliser and my shaft. Can't forget my shaft. And so we have this part here that pulls apart. So this is all part of the cutter, sorry, part of the Spiraliser. This pulls apart and you just change that disc. So as Ange said before, we've got 2 discs. The black one is side 1 and the green one is side 2. Just sits in there and connects. All of this is dishwasher safe, so you don't have to worry about washing it by hand. And it just clicks into there. I'm just going to grab my bowl. My cutter bowl is here. And then this bit here sits on top of that cutter shaft there. When you're using the Spiraliser, it's really important that this blade bit is at the very front, because when you are popping your ingredients through, if that's not there, your ingredients won't actually go through to anything. That is my lid. So as Anne said before as well, you do need to have the cutter to have the Spiraliser. You can't have the Spiraliser without the cutter. That's why we have the hose reward at the moment as well, including the cutter in case you don't already have that. So this is going to sit on there like so. And I have a chunk of zucchini here. So this zucchini, as Ange said, needs to be cut to size, and that just goes onto there. There's like little prongs that stick that in. That's just going to sit on there. I'm going to step out of this recipe and slide across to our mode screen all the way.
You want to swap
Oh, yeah.
almost? I think you've got both of yours, one's not on mute. I don't know if you meant for that to happen.
The other one's not connected to audio, that's all.
Ah.
I will add spotlight so you can see both screens. So my Spiraliser function is at the top, but if you didn't know, you can actually rearrange these functions to how you want. You can click on the 3 little dots and edit the view. So if you don't have a particular function, maybe you don't have the sensor, you can actually hide the sensor so that you don't see it and you're not teased all the time about not having it. But you can rearrange them as well. So you can maybe put them in order of most used, or like the one that you need the most. So the Spiraliser here is up top on mine, and I'm just going to click out of that and just turning it to activate it. It's popping a little bit of pressure on. See my little chicken arms a little bit as it goes around a little bit. So that was only the tiniest little bit of zucchini, but let's see how far you can see the little doodle bit. Oh,
Pinocchio.
did I just say that out loud? It's falling on the floor. And here we have now doodle.
I
It
learned
actually
the
makes
hard
heaps.
way the other day. I tried to do a carrot, but my carrot wasn't actually wide enough. So it was only 2 or 3 centimeters. So it was quite a thin carrot. But so I didn't actually end up with zoodles because it wasn't wide enough to go around like that as a cut. So it's a good way to get some shaved carrot for your salads and things. But if you want to have the zoodles, you do need to make sure the diameter of your carrots are about 4 to 5 centimeters.
Yes, good tip, Ange. I did learn that the hard way when I was presenting in front of all of our branch, in front of our general manager at our Kickstart event. That was really fun. It was quite embarrassing, but it was lots of fun. So we have been using our Spiraliser to make these kind of zoodles, and they are so long. For things like cucumber and carrot, like Ange said, it doesn't need to be quite a thick carrot, but when you are doing them, it doesn't actually matter. Like, it looks cool anyway. So we've been doing cucumber and carrot and just making that for our lunches, and then just popping a nice dressing with that. So it's literally just a little bit of cucumber, a little bit of carrot, and then you can put whatever other things you want in it. The other day I put some roast chicken in it, but these zoodles, the kids love them. Billy will eat these probably in his lunchbox tomorrow, to be honest. He wouldn't even care. He just loves them, like loves fresh food anyway. But the fact that it's zoodles, it's really cool. So there is lots of recipes on Cookie Do. And where are you at, or can I go to Cookie Do?
I'm done. So
okay, we might come to you. Are you plating up, or what are you?
I'm already done. It's ready to go.
Oh, okay. Show us. What have you got? Oh, amazing. Hang on, let me spotlight you because this.
So it actually smells really, really yummy. So I'm just going to put them into, well, I've already done it, put them into containers, and I'm going to put them into the freezer for a quick lunch.
Yum. I love that the zucchini has still held its shape. It's not like when I first did it, I obviously steamed it for too long and it completely fell flat and it was really soggy and gross.
So obviously, yeah, if you're going to store it as well, it's going to reheat in a microwave, so it will cook a little bit further as well.
Yeah, that looks so yummy.
Yeah.
Can we do a swap? I'll give you a salad and you can give me a
Sure.
I'll take one too.
Yeah, just move. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ange. I'm not going to show you my salad because I haven't fully assembled it. I put a little bit of chicken in my container with the rice and that's it. But I will show you, I'll take a photo and send it. But before we jump off, I just want to quickly share my screen and show you guys how you can find some of these yummy recipes on Cookie Do. So we do have a Cookie Do session coming up on the 24th of this month. If you haven't already registered, you can go and register for that. Let me or your consultant know if you don't know how to find that. But while I am trying to find my share screen, and can you just give me a thumb up if you can see that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
See it.
So this is cookie dough. If you're not using cookie dough, then let me know because I can help you with that, or let your consultant know if I am not your consultant. But when you are looking for something that you are in particular, so it might be something to do with the cutter or the spiralizer, you can literally type in cutter. All of the recipes that contain the cutter will pop up. So you can see here, this is the chicken Buddha bowl that I've done tonight. We've got coleslaw, we've got the veggie bake. You've got so many different recipes on here, potato bake, pickled cabbages, ratatouille. There's just like so many different things. These are the rosti canapé cups. So they're like potato. They look delicious. And I'm really keen to try them. There's cucumber salad, which is really on trend at the moment. Pickled beetroot, tacos. There's so many different recipes on here. There is also some sweet recipes. So I know last time we did this, Crystal actually made our frozen yogurt bark. Actually, no, sorry. She made a dessert cup and it had the sliced strawberries. Let's see if we can find it. It had sliced strawberries and then it made like a whipped cream. It looked delicious. I wish I could have tried it. I don't know. There's so many recipes on here, but you get the gist. There's pineapple. There's like Buddha bowl. Obviously you got the Buddha bowl, but then you've got nourish bowls. There are heaps of different recipes. This chicken pizzola with the cutter is really yummy. You put a layer of potatoes in there as well. There are so many recipes on here. Obviously, you can use it manually, but this is one way of finding recipes as well that are already built into the Thermomix if you are lacking a little bit of confidence around using it manually. This fruit platter with a lemon and honey dressing, I've tried the dressing and to be honest, I cut the fruit myself because I didn't have fresh fruit and it was looking a bit sad and I knew it would just kind of go a bit yuck. This dressing was delicious. So now if we're talking about the spiralizer, let's type in spiralizer and let's see what we find. Oh, there we go. So this is a lemon pepper chicken with the zoodles that Ange has done tonight. We have a lentil bolognese. Obviously you can just do your own bolognese sauce and steam your zoodles and then serve it together. We have a smoked salmon salad. We have veggie nests. We have crispy potato and turkey sliders, curly fries. One of my favorite things and I'm dying to try these, are the chips on a stick. So I have tried them, but I cut off too much of the potato. And as Ange said before, if your food isn't quite thick enough, then it won't work properly. So my tip for that is trim it down so that it fits through your cutter hole, but just make sure that you have enough so that your the blades actually catch it. There are so many different recipes on here. I have heard really good things about the what recipe was it? Oh, I don't know. One of them. It was a Thai salad, I think. But there are, this is the recipe that I was going to do tonight, but I already had the ingredients for the other recipe. So, but this one's really quick and easy. It's 20 minutes. It's a yummy salad. It's got prawns. You could swap for chicken if you prefer. It is so fresh and tasty. But if you have any questions about how to use Cookie Dough, I really recommend reaching out to your consultant or to myself and let me know because we do have that Cookie Dough class coming up on the 24th of this month. It's a workshop. So we really encourage you guys to come off mute and ask questions, find out about creating your own recipes and all of those kind of things as well. I think that is it from us. Do you ladies have anything else that you think we have forgotten or need to add?
No, I don't think so.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for jumping on and spending the time with us tonight. I will post some photos of our dishes. I will send you an email with the recipes that we've done and the link to our next classes as well. We also have a virtual cooking experience coming up, and we are aiming to do a class like this every second month. So stay tuned for what the next one will be. If you have any questions, reach out to myself or your consultant if it's in regards to referral links, demos, purchasing, anything like that, coming on board, anything like that, then please reach out to us because we are more than happy to help. No worries at all, Tara. I hope that that has inspired you. Can't wait to use your cutter. Great. If you have any feedback for us, please pop it in the chat. We love to know if there's anything that you'd like to see in our next class, then please share with us. That would be very helpful. But that's it from us. I will say goodbye. And let the girls say goodbye to you. That was great. Can't wait to use your cutter. Great. I hope it's inspired you guys to use your cutters now. And please come along to these classes that's what we're here for. So thank you so much. And I will pass over to you guys to say thank you and goodbye as well. And she's going to go first.
Yep. Thank you, ladies, for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
And
Thanks, guys. Enjoy. Let us all know too what you've been using your cutter, and if you get your spiralizer, what you've been using them for.
yeah, tag us in your posts on Facebook or like Instagram socials. Let us know what you're making, whether it is Spiraliser or cutter or not, or just your Thermomix. We love to see what you're making. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we shall see you in our next class. Have a great night.